Is everything working for you?
I think so, yes.
Are you ready?
Thank you. Yes, I am.
3, 2, 1, go!
On average, it takes 15 minutes to find a parking spot. 30% of inner city traffic is looking for a place to park. I could go on and tell you about parking problems, but I'd rather tell you about the 1.1 million unused parking spots in London City. And not only in London, there are other cities in Europe with thousands of unused parking spots. So I'm talking about parking spots of office buildings. These spots are only used for 8 hours a day, and in the evenings and weekends, they're not being used at all. Plus, there's about 30% that's also just not used. We open up the barriers to these parking locations. So our smart technology can open the barrier of a private parking location. We decided to partner up with the biggest parking app providers out there. So in the Netherlands, that's ParkMobile and Ringo in the UK. And both have millions of users that use these apps for street parking. So how does it work? Well, if I have the ParkMobile app, I drive to our parking location, our ParkBee location, and then I open the app, I select open barrier, the barrier will open, and I park there, I drive away again later, and I pay through the app, just like I'm used to with street parking. And the great thing is it's cheaper than street parking, actually. So the real estate industry is always looking for ways to create extra value, to make optimal use of their resources, to minimize their footprint, and to create additional income. The business model is straightforward. We share the revenue with the owner, and a cut goes to the parking app provider. A great business case is our garage in The Hague, where the owner had 115 empty spots. And with ParkBee, every spot is now worth 3,600 euros a year. And the owner is making an additional revenue of more than 200K a year, just by opening up his spots. And we've already proven that this works, because since our launch in March 2016, we have opened up more than 50 locations in the Netherlands, and we recently opened 15 in London. Our garage break-even is approximately within 12 weeks. Our month-over-month growth is 15%, and we recently received 1.8 million seed funding. We work together with the biggest real estate parties or companies, and we aim to open up 5 to 10 garages every month. So with ParkBee, you can help solve the parking problem in your neighborhood, you can make your property more sustainable, and you can create extra revenue. And we see lots of opportunities in Europe in the 8 billion parking market, and we think your spots can be part of that. Thank you.
All right. Woo. Some fans. All right. Lots of ParkBee fans. Okay. First, I was surprised you said there's enough parking spaces. I find that every day really, really hard to believe. But I guess intellectually I can imagine. Practically, I cannot imagine. So I liked your case. You said, that, like if somebody had like 115 spots, but how does that work? So if I drive in, which spot do I use, and how long do I stay there, and how does it actually work practically?
So we have different types of garages. Some garages are open in the evenings and weekends, and we communicate that very clearly. Some garages have also spots that are available for 24/7. And in these cases, a lot of spots are just open to anyone. So if I drive in, I can park in any spot. Sometimes the owner says, well, about 50% I rented it out, you can't touch those parking spots. Then we really mark our spots very clearly so the customer knows where he or she can park.
Okay, and how long? They know they can't park there all the time, so they know there's a deadline when they need to get out, right? How does that work?
When we have opening hours, we communicate it on our website, but we can also send push messages through the ParkMobile app. Then they know, oh, this garage is going to close in half an hour. I need to get my car out.
Yep. So everybody knows here that parking is a big business. So I'm interested to see what do the jury think. What questions do you have to ParkBee?
What is the investment for the owners of the parking areas to open the
Actually,
garage?
Nothing, because we share the revenue. So there's no upfront investment. As soon as he opens up the garage, then he can start making money. That's it. It sounds too easy to be true, but it's.
But how is the technology in the garage to open it?
Yeah. So we install the hardware in the barrier, and this hardware is connected with our software. It's all in the cloud. So when someone wants to drive in, a signal gets sent to the hardware in the barrier, and it communicates with our software to see if there's availability and to see if this is a user from Park Mobile as well.
And you do this investment?
Yes, exactly.
One pressing question from the audience, really important, because we all find it hard to believe that there are enough parking spaces. So when are you going to be in Germany?
Yeah, so we talked to a lot of German building owners these few days.
Okay.
And Germans are very, very clever about the efficiency of anything, I think, but also about their parking spots. Mm-hmm. So we already had some questions about it. Currently, we're focusing on the UK, but we're definitely exploring Germany as well.
Okay, so no date yet. But
no
we
date.
can actually try it in Munich.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Okay, the top-rated question here. How can you ensure that the parking spaces are going to be free again? Let's say, so if they're used during the day, right, and so they need to be free again, how do you ensure that? How does that actually work? And there could be a big conflict, right, if the person is late or something and you can't get in your parking spot.
So most of the times, well, we always handle with multiple parking spots. So if this is the case, it would probably be one person that's going to be late, so it wouldn't affect the company, or not really. But if it happens, then we make sure that this person removes the car. So we have their data, we can call them and we can ask them, hey, remove your car. If someone is really not willing to remove their car, we can always tow them away.
Okay,
so
that's friendly.
We don't want to do that, but...
yeah. I already have that in the city, all that fear all the time, so I don't want to have that in the parking space.
No, we try to avoid it.
Another question from the jury? Anyone? Microsoft?
Do you also talk to manufacturers of these parking hardware systems like Scheid-Bachmann to integrate your hardware on board?
Yes, we do. I don't know exactly because I'm not a developer and it's something our CTO is doing, but we definitely are talking to them, yeah.
Because it would be much more interesting if I build a new parking space to integrate not on top, but also to buy an integrated system with your hardware.
Definitely. Well, our system is integratable. So, for example, if you have another software, we can try to implement our API into that software as well.
Guys, please vote now. We'll close the voting shortly. If you haven't voted yet, please vote now. We'll have one more question. There's some questions on security from the audience.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's not a public place, but let's say a private, they have their security systems. So how do you work with security systems? And what about security in general?
So we know exactly who drives in our garage because we have all the information.
Ooh.
So that covers quite some security. Then, it's just like parking somewhere else, like in a commercial garage. It's at your own risk, but it's a covered garage. It's quite safe, and it's behind a barrier. No one can get in just without the app and without registering in the app.
Okay, so I guess you can trace the users. Okay, thank you very much. A big round of applause for ParkBee.